Hello, and welcome to Introduction to K-12 Technology in the Classroom. This is going to be somewhat of a very fun class for you all to participate in, and I'm very excited about this course. I've made several changes since I taught this the last few semesters, and I think you are going to really enjoy this class and the assignments involved in this class because you get to be more interactive in the actual classroom procedures. And you'll understand what I'm talking about after I finish explaining all of this in this video to you. The first thing I want to point out is that in this course, you will have to complete a field study experience project. This field experience project requires also that you complete a field experience log sheet in that you log all of your time and procedures on this log sheet and you date it so that I can know how much time you actually spent in each area of this project. Please keep in mind that you are required to spend at least 10 hours on this project and no more than 15. I'm going to, before I get into the details of the actual project itself, I want to go over a few things to help you understand how to fill out your log sheet. Your log sheet is due at the end of your assigned project, and I'll explain that also in just a little bit. The first thing you will do is put your name as the teacher education candidate, beginning, of course, with your last name and then your first name. You will have to print this out and print that in, or you can type it in as well. Put your candidate ID number. This is your assigned ID number through MyOzarka, and this semester and the year that you are in this course working on this project. You will need to put the course prefix number and name, and I will show you where to find that. It is going to be posted right here. It is EDU, that is the prefix. The number is 2013, and the name of the class, and you can just shorten it for space purposes and just put K-12 Tech, and that will suffice. I don't think you will have enough space to put the whole title of this course. So K-12 Tech, but don't forget to begin with the prefix and the course number. Right here you will put your instructor or professor name, and that would be me, Toon. I want you to check mark which one of these areas, excuse me, which one of these areas is your degree major. Are you an elementary major? Are you a mid-level? Or are you secondary? And then the project name. The project name for this assignment or this field study project is called Google Classroom. So right here for project name, you will put Google Classroom. And right here, you will put your chapter, or for some of you, you will be given a topic assignment. So if it's chapter assignment, you may just put chapter 4 dash and whatever the topic or the title of that chapter, an abbreviated title, don't put the whole thing. If it is a topic, just put topic/subject and then type in your topic or subject matter that you have been assigned. What I mean by that is some of you will be assigned a particular chapter, and then some of you, we're going to go outside of the textbook, and I will assign you a topic or a subject matter, and that will be the research and the project that you will do in the Google Classroom. Okay, for this project, you're going to have several procedures to complete for the entire project. As you are working on your project, you will notice on this log sheet that I have 3 sections, and some of you may need to make an additional copy of this for the purpose of you might need 4 or 5 sections, and that's going to depend on you and how you go about doing this log sheet. But please feel free to have 2 copies of this as opposed to 1. For the most part, though, I think 1 will suffice, but just be aware that if you need an additional, absolutely, yes, you may do that. For your assignment, this is the process that you will go through in each one of your areas, okay? You will have a field experience task, and this is the assignment title description. So you would put the assignment title description here. This is going to be separate from your chapter assignment or your subject assignment. This is going to be based on the actual assignment that you are working on at the time. And again, I'll explain that some more as I get into the actual details of the project assignments. Always put the date that you are doing this particular piece of working on it. And this has to do with the planning. As you are planning this assignment, okay, this one has to do with creating the assignment. This has to do with how much time and what date you're actually working on the final assignment for this particular task. And then this is your reflection of working on this particular task assignment and what date. Please log the hours that you spend in each one of these areas. You do need to put your signature here, verifying that you really put in this amount of time on this date working on this particular task. And then go ahead and print your name. And your title here is student. Even though you may have a role of teaching some students in the classroom some information, your role in this class is student. Okay? I want to make a special point to say when you put your signature right here by this, you are signing with a note of integrity. So I'm trusting you that you are not falsifying some information and indicating to me that, okay, it only took me 30 minutes, but I'm going to jot down that I spent a full hour. I'm putting you on the honor system because you are a teacher education student working toward a field of professionalism, and I expect you to conduct yourself as a professional with solid integrity in this whole course. So when you put your signature there, you are validating that this is the truth and you are an honorable and responsible and respectable person in this course. Okay, so you notice that there are 3 of these sections, which indicates that there is going to be a 3-part fold that you will work on in this project. Okay, and I'll explain that. There will be a reflection. Now, you may not complete the final assignment until after you've worked in these 2 areas. You will not be able to do a reflection of this particular task until you've completed these other 2 task areas. So this will not be a consecutive, I work on this on August 20, 21, 22, and 23, and then I move here and I do September 1, 2, 3, and 4. That will not be the case. you might begin, and I'm making up these dates as I go, but you might work on this on August 20 and 21, but you don't come back to complete this until November 4 and 5. Okay, so please keep that in mind, because these tasks, you're going to have to do a reflection as an overall at the very end of your entire project. And I'll explain that in just a moment. Your final assignment date will be a different date from everyone else in the classroom. So when it comes to, you will put together the final assignment and post it, but you cannot do a reflection on that final assignment until after you have implemented it to the rest of the peers in your classroom. All of that will make sense once I go through the assignment sheet in just a second. So this is just an explanation of how you will fill out your log sheet. Now, moving down here, you see that you should be logging hours throughout this semester. This is a semester-long project pretty much for the most of you. You should be logging your hours here, and down here I need a total of how many hours you spent. Remember, you must spend 10 hours on this project. You are to spend no more than 15 hours on this project. Down here at the bottom, at the very end, when you have completed all of your tasks and your log sheet is completed, then you will sign off on it, and I will sign off on it. And the partnership coordinator signature is only if you are assigned to another person. And for this particular project, you will not be assigned another person. So this is kind of what we will do on that. You will not be responsible for doing this particular section down here at this time for this particular class. Okay? Now let's move into a description of the field experience project of Google Classroom that you will be working on for K-12 Tech. The first thing that you're going to do is research Google Classrooms. You will be responsible for going in on your own and digging into the websites, YouTube videos, everything you can get your hands on to research what is a Google Classroom. You need to know how to set up a Google Classroom, and you need to know how to maneuver and implement a Google Classroom. You also need to know why do you need to know about Google Classrooms. I'll go ahead and give you a tip on that one. The majority of the schools today, even in elementary kindergartners even, are using Google Classrooms as their mode of learning and engaging in learning experiences in the classroom. I know the Batesville School District K through 12 are Google Classrooms now, and every single student has been issued his own computer. Most of them have Chromebooks. There are some schools out there that are Apple schools because they got a grant, and so they're using the Apple method or the Apple computer. But the majority of the schools have gone to Google Classroom from kindergarten all the way through the 12th grade, which means when you start looking for a job as a classroom teacher, you will be required to use Google Classroom in your classes. So this particular class is going to not only make you aware of all kinds of technology that is available for you to use as a classroom teacher, but it is also going to prepare you as a classroom teacher so that you can set up a Google Classroom and use it with your own students in your own class. So you're going to dig in and do some research on Google Classrooms, and you're going to have to learn how to set up a Google Classroom. Then you will be assigned a particular chapter or a topic, and you will have to study that assigned chapter or that topic. And if you're assigned a particular topic or subject, you will have to go on the internet and do some research and digging into that topic and that subject. You will then create assignments for your peers, and you will set up a Google Classroom, and you will then invite your peers to join that Google Classroom at your assigned time, and you will post your assignments that you created for that particular topic or chapter, and your students will go into Google Classroom and complete those assignments, and then you will come back in as the Google Classroom teacher and score and look at the work that your students in this class have submitted. You're also going to teach your students about that topic, very similar to how I am teaching you right now about the field study project. You're going to have to create a video or a PowerPoint. What I'm doing right now is through QuickTime, and I'm doing a screencast video, in that I am able to pop from screen to screen and show you things, and I'm talking over this screencast video. And there's also a way that you can make a PowerPoint presentation, and once the PowerPoint is made, you can do a video, you can do a voice over each one of your slides to teach the information to your students. So you're going to be using technology in this class, and you are going to have to step up in the role as a teacher and teach information to your students who are actually your peers in this class, the students in your Google Classroom when you set it up. Please keep in mind that as you set up your Google Classroom, and you will be assigned which week you are responsible for having your Google Classroom set up. So you will need to work on that in advance, and please do not wait until Sunday night to try to set up your Google Classroom. That will not suffice. You will get a 0 on the whole project assignment. Please keep in mind that I must be given administration privileges so that I can go into each Google Classroom and I can see what you have done, and I can see what your peers, who are your students, what your peer student submissions are, and how the students are doing on your particular assignments that you make for them. You will also have to post your assignments in a specific tab, and that will be in the when you open the K-12 Tech class, and you will be able to see that, and you will see that your assigned number of the week, and you will see where to submit your assignment. Anyway, that will all make sense once you get into the class and you see that unfold in your assignment tabs from week to week. Okay, this is the video that I have explaining the procedure. This whole document sheet, along with the log sheet document, are going to be posted in the same section that this video is going to be posted in the assignment tab in week 1, and it will have a continuous running throughout the course. So you can refer back to this video at any given time if you need to get some other information or just review or get an update on, okay, what's my next step? And also this sheet will be there. Okay, to begin working on this class project or this field study project, number 1, you need to research Google Classrooms and know how to set one up. You will have an assignment on this due in week 2. Now, this is not your Google Classroom field project that is due in week 2, but you need to get in there in week 1 and begin doing your research, and then in week 2, I will have a separate assignment that is due at the end of week 2 for every single student in this class related to your individual research on Google Classrooms and how to set it up. You will read your assigned chapter or research the assigned topic, and you must gain expert knowledge in that subject area. And again, everything you need to log this on your log sheet, how many hours, or it may be half an hour that you spend on this and half an hour on that, okay? Set up a Google Classroom at the appropriate time and invite all class members to join. Again, don't forget to give me administrative privileges so that I can be a co-teacher with you in this Google Classroom. Not that I'm going to step in and teach this for you, but I just need those privileges so that I can see what is going on and make sure that you're following all the necessary procedures and steps. Number 4, you're going to create and post 2 assignments as you are the Google Classroom teacher. Your assignment number 1 is going to be for practice or a learning process for your students as you are guiding them through the procedures that you're going to test them or assess them over. Assignment number 2 is going to be some form of assessment. Now, an assessment does not have to be a test. It can be a chapter test if you want to make a test, or it can be a final finished product. For example, if you are teaching them how to make a poster or a mail-out flyer that they could send home to all their parents, you may want them to create a flyer, and that would be their assessment. Have they followed the necessary procedures that you placed before them in teaching them how to do this? Okay, you may want them to make a PowerPoint with a voiceover because that's what you're teaching them. So whatever you assign your students to do, whatever you're trying to teach your students to do, you can either give them a old-fashioned test, or you can give them a project or a product that they must complete and submit. Okay? Certainly, if you have any questions on that, I want to work with you on this and help you. So feel free to send me an email or call my office and I'll talk you through it if you need some good ideas. You will then at the end, you're going to create your PowerPoint presentation with voiceover, your PowerPoint slides, or a video of you teaching this material or this information, and I talked about that just a moment ago. This is where you're going to explain all of the information that you're teaching them. You might need to give them step 1, step 2, step 3, whatever you need to do to teach them how to do whatever your topic or your chapter assignment is related to. Be creative in your teaching video and your lecturing. Have visuals. Don't just do a voice, but have some visuals such as I have for you today so that your students can follow along. And again, when you are making your video, your teaching PowerPoint or your teaching video, when you finish, you'll want to log those hours. How long did it take you to create this video? And that means from the planning stages of making this video all the way down to putting it together, okay? You will then, at the very end of your whole entire project of your Google Classroom teaching experience, you will need to score your students' work in the Google Classroom, and you'll want to, at the end of that, reflect on the assignments that you created. And for my purposes, you're going to write a 2 to 4 page reflection in MLA format as to how well you think the students did on your created assignments. In your reflection, I have some questions. I have 5 questions for you to answer. Now, in this reflection, I want you to open it up with an introduction paragraph or statement, just giving me an introduction of what your Google Classroom teaching experience consisted of. What was your topic? What were your procedures? What did you do when you were teaching? What were you teaching the students? What was the information that you were teaching the students? So give me an introduction in that reflection. After the introduction, I am okay with your copying each one of these questions and setting that up as a subheading in your paper. And under that subheading, then you write me a paragraph or two explaining an answer to these questions. The first subheading will be what went well in this lesson, this activity, or this project. And then after you tell me what went well, tell me why. Why do you think that went so well? Now you can state that, and you might have a couple of activities, and you want to separate those in separate paragraphs. That's perfectly fine. Please do that so that it keeps it straight for me. The next heading is what problems did I experience and why? While you were doing this, were you having difficulty gathering your research? Were you having difficulty understanding it yourself? What problems arose? Did you yourself have internet problems when you were trying to do this? Hey, those are real problems that I promise I've experienced. I have gone through and made a whole video teaching lecture before, posted it, and then came back and discovered, oh my goodness, my microphone was not on. And I spent an hour going through this. Was not even including the time I spent putting the presentation slides together, but just the video. I spent 40 minutes to an hour talking and explaining it to the students, and then when I finish it, I discover, oh no, I have no sound. So I have had to go back and redo the whole thing. So sometimes problems like that do occur. So what problems did you experience, and then tell me why do you think you experienced these problems? What the third topic that I want you to discuss in your reflection is, was it student-centered, and should it have been? Student-centered means, was it based on letting the students get in there and do some digging on their own after you teach them the information? Are they able to get in there and do some digging and interpret things and discover things for themselves? Was your topic, if it was not, should it have been, or even if it was, should it have been student-centered or not? What are your thoughts on that? Question number 4, what could I have done differently as I was teaching this particular lesson or this particular subject area? And then topic number 5 that you're going to talk about in your reflection is, what did I learn from this experience that will help me in the future? Now, you could learn anything from, I know some things about using this kind of information with my own students in my own classroom. I know now how I can teach it to my students and how I can enable my students to utilize these techniques in the classroom. And it also might be that you learned, I learned how to avoid certain problems that I experienced in topic number 2. So go into great detail here, telling me what you learned that will help you as a classroom teacher when you get your own classroom. For this project, you are going to be graded on a demonstration of your knowledge of the subject area, because you need to know what you're talking about when you're teaching. And I'm also going to grade you on the way that you teach it to your students. And that is going to be through your actual assignments that you give them and the instructions that you give them in those assignments, as well as I'm going to look at how you taught them in that PowerPoint or that video lecture. I'm also going to be looking and grading you on the reflection that you write, at the end of your teaching week. As I said before, this entire project should add up to at least 10 hours of field experience. Please do not do more than 15. Try to keep it as close to 10 hours as possible. Okay? That is all that I have at this particular time. There will be other pieces of information that will be posted that will give you clarification throughout this course as you prepare to set up your Google Classroom. I'm really, really excited about your Google Classroom and what you're going to do. I cannot wait to see each of your teaching experiences as you present them in the Google Classroom. And again, I'm so excited about the interactivities that we have going on in this class this semester. Please call my office at 870-368-2037 if you have any questions. If I don't answer, it's because I'm with a student or in class, or I'm on the other line. If I don't answer, please leave me a message and I will get back with you within a 24-hour period. You can also send me an email at cheryl.toon@ozarka.edu. That is CHERLTOON@ozarka.edu. I look forward to everything that you have to present in this class in your Google Classroom.